everyone, and welcome to this special evening benefiting our friends at Cul2vate. Thank you for tuning in, and believe it or not, we are coming to you from inside the Cul2vate barn. This is going to be a really special evening. We're so thankful to have you along as you hear the heart behind so many of the people who make this incredible ministry so special. Tonight's event is sponsored by Tractor Supply Company, and I am grateful to be asked back for another year to join in on this special night to help our friends at Cul2vate. Whether you are able to give in big or small ways, every dollar helps as Cul2vate continues to create community and feed those in need. You'll be hearing from some amazing young men who have benefited from the Cul2vate program. But right now, let's kick off the evening with a special message from Joey.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for Cul2vate's 2020 fundraiser. This is a little different than it has been in previous years, but hey, our world is different. We've been hit by a virus that's caused us to make changes in our personal lives and as a ministry. But we still wanted to bring you the stories and bring you the farm right into your home. So we put together, over the course of the last few weeks, the stories of how this ministry started at a small farm in Middle Tennessee, has impacted literally people around the world. The story of us joining together in faith, putting our arms together and choosing to love our neighbor. We've touched countless food deserts in our communities and around the mid-state. We've also sent people off to serve in other countries and on other continents. You'll see how these stories are literally having a domino effect in many other places while we continue to live out what was our primary mission 5 years ago, which was to reach across no matter what or where it was in our community and extend a hand to those that are in need. We pray that as you sit back and relax, enjoy the food tonight, that you will hear the stories and be as energized as you've ever been about continuing this journey and seeing it through. We believe that our best days are ahead of us, that we're going to move into greater food production and greater impact with those dealing with addiction and recovery. We look forward to what you're going to see tonight. I know that as I've heard it over the last few weeks, building this and the momentum behind it, it's been encouraging. It's been real encouraging to both my faith and to my walk in these times. So sit back, enjoy what you're about to see, take in those stories with great gratitude for what God is doing in everybody's life, even in this time. And then at the end, we're going to bring you Diehl and Kelley, who have been generously giving of their time in the past to provide songs and lyrics and music. They're going to do that again for you tonight. So first up, we've got a message from our friend and First Lady, Maria Lee.
Over the summer, we did a service challenge dedicated to serving food banks at a time when they were facing an unprecedented demand. I was first made aware of Cul2vate's work through our friend and Tennessee Commissioner of Agriculture, Charlie Hatcher. What drew us to volunteer at Cul2vate was their mission. They seek to feed the hungry by growing food and growing people. They grow and deliver fresh, nutritious, local produce to those in need. They also aid those in need of a second chance through job readiness, life skills, business training with the goal of helping individuals find full-time employment. While on site, we worked with a man who had been given a second chance at Cul2vate, and together we harvested over 400 pounds of food that was picked up that same day by the Nashville Food Project to be distributed to families and individuals in need. It was amazing to see their work in action, and I would encourage anyone who's able to visit Cul2vate.org and volunteer to support their great mission.
Thank you, Maria, for that video and for the time that you spent down here on the farm over this past year. Now, back to Jennifer.
As you'll see in the following videos, so many people have their own Cul2vate stories. As you hear from cultivators, volunteers, and board members, we hope you'll be inspired to write your own Cul2vate story and join in the Cul2vate community.
We were at Brentwood Baptist Church Gardens. I was just leaving the garden, getting back into the truck on the way home after work one afternoon. And this guy and another fellow drove up and jumped out of the truck and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm gardening." He says, "Well, you don't know who I am?" And I said, "Yes, I do. You're Joey Lankford. You're in Africa." He said, "Well, no, I'm not in Africa now. I'm in Nashville." And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's right." He says, "Do you know how to garden?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And he says, "Well, I'm looking to come back to Nashville and bring Cul2vate to Nashville. Would you be interested in helping me garden?" And I said, "You're on." I've learned a lot from these fellows. My background is far from their background, so it was a new adventure for me. I could not understand what they had been through. So it took me a while to be able to feel empathy for them such that I could interact with them and be a friend. So after I learned that all I had to do was just be me, it was easier. So I just was Charlie Coffee. The things I'd done for the last 40 years, I just continued to do. I showed them what hard work was. I showed them what efficient work was. I showed them how to eat. We enjoy eating together. So a good lunch with a bunch of guys is a lot of fun. So just being who I am, they began to look at that and begin to share with me some of their life stories. And I learn a lot more from them than they do from me. Each day, they change my life by the things that they've gone through, that they've passed, that they have been successful in. I'm just amazed at their ability to stick with it. Well, I have become much more patient. I've become someone who can understand someone else's plight. Before, if you pretty much were not like Charlie Coffee, then he didn't understand you. Now I can understand other folks and see where they've been and understand how they think and how they at least survive. During the last year, the Cul2vate board has decided to investigate the potential of partners. So an opportunity came up in Franklin with Redemption City Church to partner. So I volunteered and said I would be the Cul2vate representative there to help them begin a one-year 2020 garden project in Franklin. As importantly as growing the food, and we did a large volume of food, more importantly was the fact that we put food to the end user. Giving food away is rather easy. Giving food away to people who need it is much more difficult. You have to find them. And that has been our number one difficulty in Franklin, is finding the people who need the food. So God provided, and there's at least 2 instances where someone stepped up and said, hey, I can do that. It's phenomenal. We have one little lady, an African-American lady, who drives a school bus for Franktown. We began to get a partnership with her and a friendship with her, and she worked for Franktown, so we delivered several deliveries to Franktown, and she helped get the food to the right place. Later on, about a week or so later, she says, well, I can do better than that. I'm on this bus, and I can go to where the people need it. And we said, oh, man, that is a perfect answer to our prayers. So we put the food on the bus. She takes the bus into the Black and Hispanic communities and delivers the food from the bus. It's phenomenal. So for folks out there who have spent their lives in education, getting ready, spent their lives doing a job, and now there's nothing else to get ready for and no more job to do, it's now time to serve. And that is the most rewarding part of life, is serving others.
My sophomore year at Belmont, I got accepted into the service year program, which was me and 4 other girls living in a Christian community, and we each served at a faith-based nonprofit. And I found myself oftentimes questioning, why am I so welcome here? You know, I don't fit the demographic for what it takes to be a Cul2vate employee, but yet, you know, I've been so integrated into every process here, and it's just been wonderful. Because of that, they are all just incredibly genuine and humble, and everyone here is just so family oriented and kind and sweet and grateful to God. There's just been so many wonderful moments of praise on this farm, and that has definitely encouraged me in finding how I connect with my faith. I love getting to get in the dirt. My favorite task here was always harvesting and things like that. Obviously there was other things of manual labor like deconstructing a greenhouse or sweeping, but it was always getting to work hands-on with the plants that was so fun. And, being outside is so therapeutic, and this place is so beautiful, and that's just compounded with the great community here. Obviously, there's a very spiritual element to the culture of Cul2vate, and I think that spiritual element has emphasized calling for me, learning ways I can channel my gifts or my interests, but more so than that, it has been me understanding my gifts. I'd say Cul2vate is a safe haven for anyone who comes here. That's certainly cultivators, and that's definitely volunteers who are open to the spiritual and familial aspects of it. And aside from that, it's just a beautiful place to be and to grow.
One of Cul2vate's ministry partners is the Nashville Food Project, and we are excited to get to talk to David to tell us a little bit more about the Nashville Food Project.
So I always describe what we do as like part food rescue, part Meals on Wheels, part community gardens, because we do all of that. So the gardens are growing food for the kitchens to use. I'm out there getting food that's about to be thrown away or grown by amazing people like you, or nearing expiration, or food that isn't perfect, and then getting that into our kitchens for them to make meals out of. And they make roughly 3,000 to 5,000 meals a week. And then whatever we can't use, we share with other nonprofits. So the other aspect of my job is running out to other organizations like End Slavery and Safe Room and Renewal House, Nashville Rescue Mission. Anything we can't use, we try to find the right partner to share it with.
David, tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Cul2vate and how that works.
Yeah, as far as our relationship with Cul2vate, I mean, they have just given us so much food over the last couple of years. When I first started this job, I guess we had a previous relationship with Cul2vate, with the guy who started before me, Booth. But when I first started, I was kind of starting from scratch and trying to form all these new relationships. And I still remember the day Matt Worley called me out of nowhere. He was like, "Hey, you guys haven't been here in a little while." And we'd really like to rekindle this relationship. And so I just started coming down there on a weekly basis. And I mean, gosh, I'd love to look up the numbers of how much food they've given us over the course of the last couple years, but I'm guessing it's over 10,000 pounds of food.
So you guys are kind of like the hands and feet, taking the food and then cooking it and serving the families with the food. Tell me about the impact that it has on these families who receive the food.
It just goes into the hands of so many different people around the community. One of the biggest partners we have that we donate fresh produce to is Legacy Mission Village, which is helping recent immigrants or refugees figure out the school system. I mean, all of the virtual learning hurdles they've jumped through recently have been amazing. But right when COVID hit and everything shut down, I mean, they started feeding, I think, 70 to 100 people a week, just making giant grocery boxes of out of produce, milk, eggs, meat, whatever they could find for the week. And so Cul2vate has been an incredible resource for that. I mean, if you got to be a part of that drop off, that's one of those ones that will stick with you and get you through the rest of the week.
David, we all know there are so many great organizations to give to. Why Cul2vate?
Gosh, as far as giving time and giving money, I mean, one thing I always say is that I'm in the food security business because I feel like it's a solvable problem. If it weren't possible to fix this, I would be devoting my time to something else. So this is a problem we can fix. We can do it if we band together. Give your time, give your money to places like Cul2vate, to the Nashville Food Project, to Bell's Bend Farm. I mean, whether you love being outside or you love being in a kitchen, working with other people, if you love being in a garden, if you love being on the road, I mean, there are so many different opportunities. There are so many different ways to get involved.
Well, David, I know everyone sure appreciates all that your ministry does and for partnering with Cul2vate. Thanks so much. As you now know, Cul2vate also seeks to provide employment and training for those in need of a second chance. We invite you to hear how Cul2vate has impacted the lives of some of the cultivators.
He just started running like low-grade fevers. And I took him to the ER, and they told me there was something viral going on. So they said they could either overtreat him or undertreat him. They really wasn't sure what it was. So I said, no, we'll just take him back home and I'll follow up with his regular PCP the next following day. But it kept spiking and spiking, so we ended up taking him to Vanderbilt. And by the time we had got to Vanderbilt, he was like basically non-responding to anything. So they started the treatment for spinal meningitis, which I had never heard anything about this until he encountered it. And they said they were going to treat him for him, and then they'll test him, get the fluid off his spinal tap to see if that was the case with him. And what, even 24 hours later, they said he tested positive for the spinal meningitis, and it was good that they had started the treatment. But them explaining to me some of the stuff that could happen, he could possibly die, and different sorts of other stuff. But actually, he stayed in the hospital 21 days. I think maybe going on like the third week, they did a hearing test, and they came back and told me he had profound hearing loss. And me being young, I'm like, oh, okay, that's going to be a challenge for me. But they told me it was different opportunities that I had, that people would be out there to help me with him. So it was a school, Sullivan Park, out West Nashville, that he went there to the 4th grade. And then we had like an IEP meeting with everybody came together, and they said they wouldn't recommend him go back to Franklin School. They would recommend him go to TSD, which is in Knoxville. Which, me being a nervous mom, putting a 5th grader on a bus all the way to Knoxville, letting him stay Monday through Friday was kind of challenging, you know. I was emotional wreck, but, you know, me as a praying mother, I prayed about it, and I said everything would work out. And he started there in the 5th grade, and he graduated 2 years ago. He was going to Brentwood Baptist Church, where he started there when he was 5'2", and he went to the deaf chapel and the little programs they had at the church. And he always would tell Burl, and he wanted a job. And, you know, they would look, and they do little applications. And I don't know how she found this place. She was like, well, I got a guy that the hiring fellows and different. We'll try this. Me having no idea what it was. Okay, we'll try. So we get down here, we're talking, you know. I'm having good vibes. I'm thinking it's something that I feel comfortable with. It's meant a lot because he's more independent, wanting to work more. He wanted his own money. He follows directions. He's learned a lot that the doctors and people said he wouldn't be able to do, like him driving vehicles, which I never thought he would do. I mean, he's learned and conquered a lot of self-working here. I think just being out, seeing different people, because from where we live, and he don't see a whole lot of people, but like family-wise, and far as like coming here, he see different faces that he could say that he could really call his friends, because he really doesn't, as far as like family-wise, he doesn't have anybody besides people at the school and church that he be around.
Well, first of all, it's fun. And you got all the vegetables like the strawberries, the blackberries. All my friends are here, and we can chat together. Even though they're hearing, I teach them how to sign. Like I teach Joey and Matt, Jimmy, and some others. But I have a lot of friends here, and I taught them some ASL, and we can sign to each other a little bit. I've been enjoying it a whole lot. And I really like working on the farm here. Through the church camp sign, we teach them they teach the deaf kids how to plant things, like the potatoes and the cabbage, some of the grass wheat, the strawberries, the sweet potatoes, and red hot peppers, some of the yellow peppers that are sweeter. There have been a lot of deaf people that come here, and I want them to come here so we can teach them more here at the farm. And I think that'll be good. I want them to learn more, to get better in their life through teaching them.
This farm has really gave my son Cornelius a lot of opportunities, opened up a lot of doors, helped him with a lot of stuff that I didn't actually myself, I was discouraged, didn't think he would be able to do. And just that when people think that you can't do nothing, this is a prime example that they said he wasn't going to be able to do nothing. He's driving tractors, four-wheelers, planting vegetables, recognizing vegetables, doing it all, and I'm just happy.
Trent graduated in the 6th class of cultivators and from there went to Tanzania to serve in the Peace Corps. His unique journey brought him back to the farm this fall.
So luckily for me, when I got here, I was kind of on the fence about joining the Peace Corps, maybe doing some agriculture and gaining some experience. And within the first month or two of me starting work here, I got accepted. And I had a great transition period of just working here, learning about Joey's experiences and Matt's experiences in Cape Town, and just using that to help transition over to my next step after I left here, which was getting on a plane and flying to Tanzania. My project that I've put most of my time into that first year was I started a group for people in my community that had mental and physical disabilities. Since I lived in a village where everyone was a subsistent farmer, if you can't farm, you kind of feel like you don't have a purpose in the village. And so I was trying to figure out ways of how to not only build a community and support group for those individuals, but also to find a way where they can get up every day and be like, I have a purpose, I can, provide for my family, and I'm not just sitting around and being, a burden to my family. Yeah, I'm just going through a transition period, and with COVID happening, it's been hard to find work, and obviously with the abruptness of me having to leave Africa and just all of a sudden be back in the States to whatever this new normal is, it's been a great period of time to be out here, clear my head, and put my time towards something I really enjoy doing that has a greater purpose than just me. The one thing that really surprised me was I always thought that, my purpose was to help other people and do good and try to, be a positive influence in the community. But what I really learned from here that I never expected was that the most important thing is the relationships you have with other individuals, because that has just so many unanticipated outcomes. Hey, I might not be able to get money to do work, but if I sit down with these people and just have great conversations and good laughs over a cup of tea, then that will do a lot more for all of us than anything else I could do. There are many great organizations in Nashville. Tennessee is the volunteer state, and growing up in Florida, I've never seen anything like this place. But Cul2vate is just something different. Not only does Cul2vate have the two goals of providing 50% of the food to the community in local food deserts, and also providing technical education and hands-on experience to people transitioning in their lives, but Cul2vate gets the community fired up in ways I've never seen before. I mean, we have community members come down here being like, I walk by this place every day and I wonder what you guys do. And then they come down here and we just educate them on the issues in their own backyard, and you see them get fired up in ways I've never seen before.
We'd like to introduce you to Weldon Waters. Weldon is a current cultivator graduating this fall. He's from a distressed county in rural Tennessee and has suffered from alcohol addiction for most of his adult life. After coming to Middle Tennessee, Weldon made his way to Cul2vate through Welcome Home Ministries. Weldon's story is ongoing, and we're happy to share that with you tonight.
What brought me to Cul2vate was I was living in a life of misdirection. I was misguided through my own ways, and I wasn't very active in anything social or just productive in any way. When I met the guys at Cul2vate, they welcomed me into more of a family atmosphere, actually. I mean, these guys, in the beginning, they reminded me of some cousins or relatives that I had back home, and things clicked, and then their guidance into godly affairs is really what drew me more. I grew up in a home where God was the leader of all, and we believe, and these guys believe very much similar to what I was brought up believing, and that is the love of Christ abound and increase in the family of God. Immediately I felt like I was welcomed into the farm, and these guys have just been great. My struggles with sobriety began at an early age. I found myself in the beginning just having a few drinks with some guys on a fishing trip, just like good old boys would do, laughing, joking around. But as time went by, the stresses of life really kind of crashed over on me, and I found myself reaching for a bottle more than I would reach for my Bible or for any of the family members or friends that I knew I could rely on, but I suppose in a way I was ashamed. And the more shame I felt, the more guilt I felt, the more I drank. And drinking became not an outlet or a comfort, it became more of a way to hide from stress, to hide from the family stress, the job, the businesses and children, things of that nature. And so I was overcome by my addictions for many years. And but thanks to the open, welcome heart and love of Christ that these guys have shown me here at Cul2vate, I've found a more constructive outlet that I can use instead of reaching for a bottle. They didn't make me feel ashamed, and so I was able to tap into parts of myself that I had lost years ago, and through this relationship I feel a much better man than I was. I don't want to sound too presumptuous, but agriculture has opened up a new door to me that I feel like I belong in. It would be my dream to build satellite farms with a model of Cul2vate to not only just feed those that are in need of food, but to bring others into the family, to teach them, to train them, to show them other avenues of life that are available that they may not have known, such as myself, for an example. I never knew there would be so many diverse opportunities in cultivation, but I'm looking forward to it.
Now, I'm going to transition to another story, one of an amazing and courageous little girl. In a flood 2 years ago, this farm was literally taken over by water, and my friend Maggie rallied her troops in her neighborhood, and they came down and they served for countless hours putting the pieces of the farm back together. I must tell you, I was desperate in that moment. But as the kids came, the kids left, I thought, man, how grateful I was for that extension of help. Little did I know that Maggie and her friends went off, and Maggie started talking about other ways that they could help the farm. Over the last few years, Maggie has approached me many times with envelopes or jars filled with cash. She asks her friends, she tells them about the ministry. As I think about tonight, and I think about the future of this ministry, I must tell you that I believe that the brightest days are in our future. I know without a doubt that our community needs us now more than they ever have. We're energized to continue to do what we're doing. You've heard the stories. You've been inspired, no doubt. We want to give you a few minutes to respond as you feel led to give, and I'll be back in a minute. I just want to say thank you to everybody that has been involved in this tonight. Not only tonight, but in the past. If you're new, welcome to the family. I want to thank Jennifer Vickery Smith. She's been a loyal supporter and somebody that we literally could not do this without. Thank you, Jennifer. I also want to elaborate a little bit on the friendship that Kelley and Diehl have been to the farm. These guys have pitched up as some of the best songwriters in Nashville to provide evenings for the last 5 years for people to enjoy. We wanted to bring that to you as well, and they generously gave of their time. Not only of their time, but they gave of their lyrics. The lyrics online have always been something that people have wanted to bid on and get. The best songs in Nashville written by the guys who actually wrote the songs. So that auction is now live and online. Now, for Kelley and Diehl, take it away, guys.
Hello everybody, welcome to my home here in College Grove, Tennessee. We're sorry we can't be live tonight, but this is the next best thing. That rhymed.
Yeah, you can't help yourself.
I can't help myself.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to sing a couple songs, 2 or 3 or 4 songs for y'all tonight. And Caleb, I want you to kick it off for us.
All right, we'll do it. So, yeah, like Neil said, we're very thankful to be here. I know you guys are at home watching this, and we're thankful of that. And we're just glad. We're great friends of the Lankfords and Joey and Courtney, and just what great people they are. I met Joey and Courtney both probably 20 plus years ago in Sunday school, Brentwood Baptist Church, and they were great people then. And they as far as giving back, to people and actually living a life for God, they're just the best example that I know, and I'm just thankful to give back to them. Their ministry, Cul2vate, is amazing.
I missed the farm to table. I missed the food.
I hadn't done the farm table.
You didn't do it last year.
I think somebody left me off the list.
Sorry. Next year. We're going to do it.
All
We're
right.
going to be outside next year. We're going to do the farm to table and the whole bit. We're going to do it next year.
That'd be great. I've heard so much
And I
about
will
it.
not leave you off the list. I
Thank you.
promise.
Thank you.
Oops.
All right, so we're going to do a few songs for you guys, and a lot of you have seen these before, the writer things. We're going to do a little story behind the song, and then we'll play some hopefully that you know. So for me, I came to town a long time ago, went to Belmont University and met Brad Paisley there, and we got to be good buddies, have very like personalities, and we ended up being really good friends. We're still friends and neighbors to this day, and as they say in business, best thing is location, location, location. So I've moved legally as close to him as I can. I think it's 1,475 yards is the legal limit. And so I've got close enough to where I can pitch him all my stupid ideas to where eventually I can come up with something decent enough and we'll write together. So anyway, in the business world, you would say he's my biggest account, and so because I have a lot of access to him, and anytime he's writing and recording, I pretty much just kind of shut down and just do that. And I'm thankful to have him to pitch those ideas to. But anyway, I was out on the bus with him a long time ago, and he was talking about a Foo Fighters record called Wasting Light. And I thought, man, Wasting Light, that's a cool sounding title. And he went on to say, yeah, it's not even a song, it's just the name of their record. And I thought, that's even more interesting. I wonder how I could countryfy that and maybe write a song about a hot Daisy Duke lookalike by a riverbank drinking Miller Lite and make some money off of it. And so I thought about it for a while. I came up with an idea called Running Out of Moonlight. And I really liked that idea, just as an idea person. I was writing the next day, 2 of my good buddies and great songwriters, Dallas Davis and Ashley Gorley. And I was really wanted to pitch that to them and write that. But I started thinking about it ethically. Since I was out on the road in Brad's bus and eating his catering, I felt that I should mention to him where I got that idea and see if he wanted me to save it for him. So I called him, and told him about the idea and where I got it and everything. And I was a little bit nervous about it, pacing back and forth. And I told him about it, and I said, yes, I think it's really good. And he goes, Running Out of Moonlight, huh? And I said, yeah. I said, I think it's a hit. I said, if you love it, I'll save it for you. I said, but if you don't, I said, I wouldn't mind writing that tomorrow, And so, in just classic writer-artist fashion, we always want to change something. And he said, well, what if it's Running Out of Moonshine instead? And I said, I like that. I like that a lot. And he goes, right? And I said, right. I said, yeah, you really just turn that phrase just so quickly, And I pacing back and forth, and saying, okay, I really don't like that as much to myself. How do I say this and stay on the farm, And I said, he goes, yeah. I said, I really love that. And I said, me too. I do. I love that. I really do. I said, I'm not sure if I love it as much as the way that I had it, but man, the way you turn that phrase, I don't even know how you do it. It's freaking amazing. And there's silence on the phone. I was getting nothing. I thought, that's it. I'm off the farm. This is it. And so finally he said, you know what? He goes, I'm not writing for a while anyway. He says, go ahead and write that tomorrow. So So I did, and got in there, and everything just went great. All of us were on at the same time, and we wrote it. And a few weeks later, Randy Houser recorded it, and ended up being one of the most played songs in 2015. You gonna sing a little bit? Oh, it'll sound better. Don't you worry about getting fixed up when you wake up. Pretty enough, look out your window at the cloud of dust. That's my headlights, and that's my truck. Come on, girl, won't you keep me waiting? Gotta go, I got a reservation. Tailgate for two underneath the stars. Kissed on your lips when you're in my arms. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Every now and then you get a night like this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is one that you don't want to miss. No, come on, baby, let me take you on a night ride. Windows down, sitting by my side. Tick tock, now we're knocking on midnight. Me and you, girl, running out of moonlight. Wanna hold you till the break of dawn, dawn. Hear the crickets sing a riverside love song. Hey, baby, all we got is all night. Come on now, we're running out of moonlight. Girl, I bet you thought I lost my mind. Out of the blue, pulling up in your drive. Wonder why I got you way out here. But have you ever seen a sky this clear? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, you've never looked better than you do right now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Heaven, let your light shine down, down. Come on, baby, let me take you on a night ride. Windows down, sitting by my side. Tick tock, now we're knocking on midnight. Me and you, girl, running out of moonlight. Wanna hold you till the break of dawn, dawn. Hear the crickets sing a riverside love song. Hey, baby, all we got is all night. Come on now, we're running out of moonlight. All I wanna do is hold you tight. But come on now, we're running out of moonlight. Oh, baby, don't it feel so right? But come on now, we're running out of moonlight.
Country music.
There she is, right there.
Man, that deserves a sip of coffee.
It sure does. I'm gonna sip it and Roland, you tell the story on this one.
There ain't much of a story on this one.
You gotta have some kind of
I
story.
usually open up my sets with this one. Wrote this with Wendell Mobley and Gary LeVox, lead singer of Rascal Flats. This song actually got wrote without a title. We finished the whole song and we let Gary decide what it was going to be called. It's called Fast Cars and Freedom. I miss my hecklers. I can throw something at you. Staring at you, taking up with me, wondering why you even put it on.
absolute favorite song.
Thank you.
I love it.
Bringing it early.
You sound so good. That is bringing the heat.
Man,
Real early.
I miss the crowd. I miss the
I do too, but
applause.
I can feel them watching. I feel them. I think that they love that one. I know that. I wish I had some sort of long story I could tell so they could forget how good that was, so they wouldn't be. By the way, this isn't a talent contest, guys. Okay, we're just two friends playing some songs. Okay, no need to be judging out there. There's not a trophy or a ribbon, is there? There's not, right? No.
I wish I had your flat belly.
Well, it's about slimming colors and
I don't know how long. I don't know if I can hold this in for 4 songs.
never tuck in. Never tuck in.
Is that right?
Anyway, all right. So I wish I could remember that piece of the song I did the other night, the little pandemic song.
Do you remember it?
I don't know if I do. Let me try this for a second. Just humor me.
So you rewrote this?
I rewrote a piece of a song that John Michael Montgomery ended up recording, and the real song is about a married couple and the guy struggles from time to time with weight issues because every 2 to 4 years, we sometimes gain and lose 20 to 40 pounds because we're Americans and that's what we do. And but I don't know if I'll remember. I'll see if I remember. If I don't, I'll just go to the next song. So we're just having fun here, right? Let's see. Remember last year, about this time, I was a couple miles a day, lifting weights and eating right. Even you said you could almost see muscle tone. Think of that. But then came COVID. I got a little down, and I got laid off. Started putting on those pandemic pounds, and so tonight, can I make love with my shirt on? Nice. Yeah, that's for the people. Just something you can maybe enjoy. I mean, sometimes
something for the people.
Sometimes the blinds are open, the moon is full.
That a way to bless them, Caleb.
Anyway, all right. So we'll keep it on the funny side. Oh, that sounds like it's still
Sounds great. Sounds fantastic. It's supposed to be like we're in the living room.
So
in fact, we are.
All right. So I do love this room. This is my favorite room to write in and drink coffee in. But so this next one I'm going to play. It is a Brad Paisley song. Not a lot of artists get away with funny things, and he just has a great delivery. He's also a great writer. It's very difficult to impress him, and he's covered a lot of ground, a lot of topics, and so it's always a challenge, to write something different that you think that he would like. I mean, my co-writer Lee Miller, we've been 6 months striking out. We had nothing, and well, when I say 6 months, I mean technically Lee and I were getting together every other Tuesday between 11 and 3. So maybe it's 2 weeks of having that. But still, that's a long time. It's a long time. So anyway, so I spit out the opening, the 2 lines of the song, next song I'm going to play, and my co-writer Lee he said, "What's that?" And I said, "I don't know, but he'll record that." And he said, "What's the title?" I said, "I don't know, but he'll record it." And so we got it to outline it, just to shape and form enough to pitch it to Brad. And then he ended up pitching it to him. He loved it, so he's over at my house. We're on the same farm for the sake of the story. And it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. We finished it, and we're all laughing and high-fiving. And anytime you have the artist in there with the straight-up songwriters high-fiving and laughing, straight-up songwriters are saying, "Yes, we can stay at our house for 1 more year. This is amazing."
And he was sober.
Oh yeah, no,
okay.
yeah.
That's a good sign.
Oh yeah, everyone. And it was just in all that jubilation and excitement and high fives. Brad gets a call and he says, "Your water broke?" I looked at my co-writer and I thought, this is a terrible time for a miracle child. And so he gets up and he starts going down my office steps, and I'm sheepishly following behind him, and he gets out in the driveway and he starts to jog a little bit, and I said, "Hey, you want me to just drive you over there?" And he goes, "No, I'm going to run." And his little white cowboy hat disappeared over the horizon. I said, "You still have the song?" "Oh, no." Crickets. I got nothing. And so next morning he called and he said, "Hey, it's a false alarm." He goes, "Everything's fine." And I said, "I thank God I stayed up all night praying and fasting for the child to be." And he said, "You're an idiot." And he said, "Also, I think we wrote a hit last night." And I said, "Really? I didn't really think anything about it." So anyway, I played this.
Sounds good. Sounds authentic.
riding a wild bull sounds crazy, but I'd like to give it a whirl. You know love makes a man do some things he ain't proud of, and in a weak moment I might walk your sissy dog, hold your purse at the mall, but I'm still a guy. And I'll pour out my heart, hold your hand in the car, write a love song that makes you cry, and then turn right around, knock some jerk to the ground, 'cause he copped a feel as you walk by.
That was a little bit of bluegrass in there.
Nice, very nice, and thank you. Well, I can hear you now talking to your friends, saying, yeah, girls, he's come a long way. From dragging his knuckles and carrying a club, building a fire in a cave. But when you say a back rub means only a back rub, then you swat my hand when I try. Hey now, what can I say at the end of the day? Honey, I'm still a guy. And I'll pour out my heart, hold your hand in the car, write a love song that makes you cry, then turn right around, rock some jerk to the ground, 'cause he copped the feel as you walk by. Well, these days, dudes getting facials. Manicured, waxed, and Botoxed, with deep spray on his hands and creamy lotion-y hands. King grip a tackle box. Yeah, with all of these men lining up to get neutered, it's hip now to be feminized. I don't highlight my hair, I've still got a pair. Yeah, honey, I'm still a guy. Yeah, my eyebrows ain't plucked, there's a gun in my truck, oh thank God. I'm still a guy. Yeah, boy.
Oh, that's country.
Oh, now. There we go.
Country dang music.
That's fun. Thank you for singing with me. It sounds so much better.
Well,
What you gonna? What
I
you
guess
gonna
I'll do one. We'll do one more
Think
for
yeah,
y'all.
think one more.
Yeah.
You guys good? You got time for one more at home? I think they do. I think they do. I can hear them screaming out.
I can hear them.
Almost like they're here.
We should like walk off and then like come back like an encore thing.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you want.
That would be weird. Just kind of walk off quiet. I'm gonna do this song that Kenny Chesney did.
I love this song.
It's a good one to end on, I think.
You got a little story on it? Give a little something?
I can tell a little bit.
Yeah,
on it.
tell them a little story.
Yeah. Well, the one about getting nominated for
Yeah.
ACM
I think
Song of the Year.
they want to hear the story. I know a couple people might have heard it, but it's a great
They
story.
don't, I don't like telling it because
I like hearing it.
he got nominated for ACM Song of the Year and we lost.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, that's a huge honor. You know, I mean, getting nominated, man, it's
It may be an honor to you. I think it's a bunch of crap. It's just an honor to be nominated.
It
What?
is an honor to be
It was
nominated.
a waste of jet fuel getting us out there. When they seat you in the middle of the aisle, you're not
Yeah.
going to win. You're not going to win.
That's a good point. It's like, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me.
You
excuse
see
me,
your
pardon
seating
me.
assignments
not
when
gonna
you
do
get
that.
there, you're not going to win.
Yeah, you're right. That's point well taken. Still.
I didn't need all that. This song did enough on its own, I think. Bringing families back together. all he could think about was, I'm too young for this. Got my whole life ahead. Hell, I'm just a kid myself. How am I gonna raise one? And all he could see were his dreams going up in smoke. So much for ditching this town and hanging out on the coast. Oh well, those plans are long gone. And he said, there goes my life. There goes my future, my everything. I might as well kiss it all goodbye. There goes my life. A couple years of up all night and a few thousand diapers later, that mistake he thought he made covers up the refrigerator. Oh yeah, he loves that little girl. The mama waiting to tuck her in as she fumbles up those stairs, and she smiles back at him, dragging that teddy bear sleep tight. Blue eyes and bouncing curls, smile. There goes my life. There goes my future, my everything. I love you, Daddy. Good night. There goes my life. Well, she had that Honda loaded down with Abercrombie clothes and 15 pairs of shoes, and his American Express. Jackie, oh, slammed the hood and said, you good to go. And she hugged them both and headed off to the west coast. And he cried, there goes my life. There goes my future, my everything. I love you, baby. Goodbye. There goes my life.
Oh, man, that's great. Neil Thrasher right there. That's awesome.
Kelley Lovelace right here.
Thank you guys so much. We've had a great time, and thank you, Jennifer Vickery Smith, for bringing us on, and appreciate that. And Cul2vate and Joey and Courtney, we love you guys very much.
Yep, and I hope to see y'all next year outside again.
Yeah, absolutely.
We get to be together again.
There you go. Thankful to be here. Thankful. Hopefully you guys had a good time. Love everybody, and we'll see you later.
By the way, go online and bid on these handwritten lyrics. I wrote out "There Goes My Life," autographed it. You did?
I did. "Running Out of Moonlight," Randy Houser, one of the most played songs in 2015.
Mm-hmm. They'll be framed up for you.
Real
and everything.
Nice.
Y'all
Real
know where the
nice.
money goes. Bid on them.
Thank you, guys.